Welcome back to the College Basketball Show. Today we are joined by a guest, our first guest of the season, fresh off of Bruce Pearl's 214th win as Auburn's head coach, which makes him Auburn's all-time winningest head coach. So, Anfernee, how are you? We're with Anfernee McLemore. How are you, Anfernee?
No, I'm doing well. Excited to be here. Congratulations, Coach Pearl. It's an amazing achievement. I'm sure there are going to be many more wins to come from him, but congratulations.
We hope so. We hope so. So, you are from Georgia. You grew up in Georgia and played all 4 years of your college career at Auburn. What was Bruce like during the recruitment process? What made you want to go to Auburn?
I think first and foremost, BP, he was really down to earth guy. He didn't try to sell you a dream that you were going to come in and play and start, especially for me coming in as a three-star recruit. He made it very obvious right away that there's going to be a lot of work to put in. He was rebuilding the program. He didn't make it seem like he had everything figured out already. And coming in, he was very honest, and I think that that's what I appreciated, the transparency in his coaching staff of just saying that if you want to earn a spot, you can come, but it's not going to be given to you. So I think I really resonated really well with that.
You may sum up what makes the Auburn program under Bruce Pearl so good. He didn't promise you anything. You're a three-star guy, but you come in, you're 15 minutes or more a game on average from day one. I mean, you played a lot when you were at Auburn. So he obviously lives up to his word, man. I'm not promising you anything, but you can work your way and play ahead of four-star and five-star guys if you bust your butt.
Absolutely. I think with his program, it's all about work ethic. From his preparation and his coaching staff, it all starts with how he brings up his game plan. Just from our success, I think with our ragtag group of guys that we had from our 4 years, we wouldn't experience as much success that we had we not had the guidance and coaching staff of Coach Pearl.
You were at Auburn towards the beginning of the Bruce Pearl era. How much growth did you see in terms of excitement around the program? Because now it is, I mean, people are waiting, and towards the end of your career there too, people are lining up hours and hours before games. And prior to Bruce Pearl's rebuild of the program, it was not like that.
Yeah, like I was very, I got to see it in real time because from my first year, we saw some remnants of the Barbie era of coaching, which didn't have as much excitement around basketball until BP got on campus. There was a little bit of buzz, and then my freshman year going into my sophomore year, I guess sophomore year going into my senior year was when our team really started to experience some success, and just the jungle going from. It was always been coined the jungle, but going from just a student section to one of the most electric atmospheres in college basketball it was just even to us it was a little bit intimidating at times because you get out there, you don't want to make mistakes because you got basically your whole peer group watching you. But it gave us a lot of confidence. I'm sure it gives those guys now an unreal amount of confidence just to know that you're coming in and you got all of those people rooting for you, counting on you, and just cheering for you every single play. And that just I still get chills sometimes thinking about it to this day playing in front of so many people. It was a very awesome experience.
The coaching staff from BP on down, they don't do wholesale changes every year. There are still guys on that bench that were there from day one. He seems like a loyal guy, but it also seems like that coaching staff is very loyal to him. How does that kind of continuity help in a coaching staff for the program and the players, you think?
I think it's all about culture. You build a culture and you find guys that fit your culture, and then you improve them and you build upon them to hone their skills into what you want to be. I think one of the perfect examples of that is Maddox Jeffries. When I was a freshman there, he was a manager actually, and I think right now he's the director of basketball operation. And I can kind of draw parallels to his journey to my journey at Auburn because my freshman year, I was undersized four-man playing behind D'Angelo Purifoy, and within Coach Pearl's system, I was able to hone my skills and become a stretch five and just fit. So I think that BP finds guys that really are bought into what he's trying to teach and are willing to learn. And over time, you got Mike Burgermaster as well, who has moved his way up in the ranks. And you just got guys who believe in Coach Pearl, and he makes them better over time, and they just want to get better. So I think that's just buying into the culture and continue to improve and be willing to improve.
You suffered a gruesome injury your sophomore season that ended your season prematurely. And that's hard on any athlete, obviously physically, but mentally as well. Can you talk about Bruce off the court when it comes to, personal matters? That kind of stuff can mess with your head a little bit. What's he like as a person off the court not coaching you? Because it seems like he's found a good mix of a hard coach, but he's also a player's coach and really cares about the guys on his roster.
No, I absolutely think that Coach Pearl is a 100% a player's coach. He doesn't just want you to be a good basketball player, but he wants you to be a good Auburn man as well. And I experienced that firsthand. Like you said, when I broke my leg, he was down there with me, praying over me, and he was there for the birth of my son 5 years ago. He was one of the first people outside of me and my wife to see him. And as well as one of the, he said he actually last year he reached out to me when they were playing in Huntsville and they played UNC Asheville to invite me to the game personally. And you think a guy with so much going on wouldn't think to know where I live at in Huntsville now, after all these years, to invite me to the game. So I think that he genuinely cares about his players' development as people and as well as basketball players. But I think he definitely wants to see you be a good man first, and then develop your skills on the basketball court as well.
When you see the record broken, he got to 214 the other night, and afterwards, sitting in Austin before they got on the team bus and then the plane back to Auburn, they had put together a video for him and they showed it to him on his phone, where former players and other coaches around the country, and Charles Barkley, had said their thank yous and their congratulations to him, and he was very emotional about that. He seems like a very emotional, passionate guy. Does that just make you want to run through a wall for him, that he seems to pour every ounce of his soul and body into what he's doing?
Yeah, I think that Coach Pearl is one of the most charismatic men I've ever met in my life. Just from seeing him how he coaches. But back in the day, I think a few years ago, he actually switched, but he used to coach with a full suit and tie on, and he would be sweatier than half the guys on the bench, besides maybe Malik Dunbar. But just seeing the passion and just the energy he brings through the team, he's just not sitting there watching the game. He's actively engaged in every single play. He wants to see you see. He puts just as much work in as you guys as we do on the court, behind the scenes, getting the game plan together. So that's just a coach you want to play hard for. You just want a coach you want to win for, because he's just as passionate as you are about winning games.
You talked on one of your YouTube videos. Anfernee also has a YouTube channel if you'd like to go check that out. You talked about a halftime speech that Bruce gave during the New Mexico State game, the year of y'all's Final Four run. And it came down to the wire. They experienced something similar a couple days ago in Texas, and they walked away with a win, as y'all did. What's he like in those types of situations?
From my experience and from the years I played with him, he's not the type of coach that's going to hit you while you're down. And if you're in a situation where you're trying to figure it out yourself, or you need something, he's going to be very intentional about the words that he speaks to you. And because he knows what you're thinking, he knows, he reads your body language very well. He knows if you're down on yourself. So I think that he's going to be someone who's going to encourage you, and he's also going to be there to challenge you to get the job done as well. But he's not going to be the one to say, in a tight game, well, we should have did this, we should have did that, and kind of hit you while you're down. So I think that he's very intentional with his words. I think that he knows the right things to say at the right time.
The fan base has they have a little fun with the non-double dribble call from that Final Four now, still this many years later. But seriously, for the people that played on that team, I had a chance early in my career to interview Team USA guys who played in the 1972 Olympics, who they screwed over Team USA and they put time back on the clock 3 times, and let the Soviets eventually win the game. And it haunted that group of guys, haunted them. Does that one still rub you the wrong way? Does it haunt you? You ever wake up in the middle of the night saying, "Where's the whistle"?
No, look, when I think about my experience in the Final Four, I think this is how I think about it. So first of all, just thinking about the game, I went back and watched it a couple times. The entire game, we didn't really play our brand of basketball. So you can also argue that we had plenty of opportunities before that final call to separate and actually play Auburn basketball. We played very slow. We walked the ball up the court as Virginia wanted us to do, and also we didn't make other plays that could have influenced that last play. So as far as the double dribble call, that's just one call in a lot of different calls. We could have made one more shot and not been in that position. We could have made one more free throw or whatever it may be. So that's neither here nor there. But when I think about the actual run we made, I'm just extremely grateful for the opportunity, because we weren't expected to make it that far. I think we came in as a 5 seed. beat New Mexico State in the nail biter, Kansas, North Carolina, then Kentucky, and it was just I just feel gratitude that I got to experience it because as I know now, that was the last time I was going to play the NCAA tournament, and I'm so grateful that I don't know how the other guys feel on the team if they have some resentment, but you just feel with gratitude, and I just feel extremely blessed just to be able to draw back on that experience and play in that sort of atmosphere. So win or lose, I think we played a very tight game. I think we did as good as we can against the eventual national champions, and I'm just very proud of what the team was able to accomplish that year.
So as we're all well aware, you were a part of a team that had what it took to make a Final Four run. The start of the season has been very special for this group of guys. There were guys, big piece of this team that returned. Janai Broom, Dylan Cardwell, Chaney Johnson, and Denver Jones have been incredible this year. What does it take to make that kind of run? And what stands out to you about this team? Do you think that this team has potential to make a run when it comes to the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, when I think about Coach Pearl's teams, I look back at what our team did, and we know that we were all underdogs for the most part. We had maybe one or two 5 stars. I know Austin Wiley was a 5 star, and I think that with Coach Pearl's preparation, if we could make it to the Final Four, and I don't see any reason why, with the talent that he has now, that he's not able to compete for a national championship. And I think that going into March, the key to I think that what we did very well was we took it one game at a time, and because we had a very tough opponent each game. And I think just focusing on winning the game and not looking at the Sweet 16 or the next round is what it's really going to take to win. Because as we saw early on in our first game against New Mexico State, we didn't play very focused and instilled with our game plan. So I think that going into March, they just if they focus on winning each game, one game at a time, like it's their last game, I don't think there's anybody in the country that can beat them.
Sometimes I don't think fans understand just how long a college basketball season is. Auburn's 14-1 right now. In your Final Four run to the semifinals, you guys played 40 games. 40 games. So that means these guys have 25 or 26 games left to be national champions. It's a long, long season. Do you ever worry about a team when you played it or watching this team about peaking too early? Because I keep hearing that, man, I don't want to peak too early. I assume that is, I never played the game at your level. I assume that is a thing that you can maybe play your best basketball in January.
No, I absolutely agree with you. I think that at some point, if you win all your games, you're going to lose the feeling that it takes to prepare. So I think it's good to, whether that comes in practice, I think it's good to get hit in the mouth sometimes. I think at the end of the Texas game, it kind of showed them that even though they are probably the most talented team out there right now, that they are still playing a lot of other talented teams, and especially with as talented as SC is right now, that they still need to come out and play their best in order to win each game. So as far as peaking too early, I think that let's take my senior season, for example. We started off 15-0, 14-0, and we lost to Bama. And I think that loss in the middle of the season, it kind of refocused us, reoriented us to be like, okay, we're going to start prepping like we did early in the season and not just come out like we're going to win every game just by showing up. And I think that Coach Pearl's team is very disciplined this year. I think when I see them play that they are extremely confident, and they'll let you know that they're confident, that they're better than you most of the time. And I just think that if they keep being disciplined, that they'll keep winning.
Okay, to wrap things up, do you have a favorite Bruce Pearl story, whether it's basketball related, off the court? Do you have a favorite, one that stands out?
Favorite Coach Pearl story? Oh my goodness! If you would have texted me earlier, I could have prepared. Oh my goodness! Let's see.
I should have given you a heads up on this. I mean, meeting Maverick, that
Yeah, I
was
think.
probably very special.
Yeah, and it was also very unexpected. I think that may be one of my favorite, but him and his wife showing up to the hospital the night that my son Maverick was born was very special. Like I said, I had no idea he was going. He actually sent me home because we were playing in Mobile, South Alabama. He sent me to Columbus with the athletic director in their jet to make it to the birth on time. He didn't end up being born to the next day. But Coach Pro, I don't know. I may have texted him. It was all kind of a blur, but just him showing up and taking pictures is just one of my favorite moments. And like I said, he's always a coach that I don't think he's ever going to be too busy to talk to you, to keep an update on you. And I still see him today as a father figure. Whenever I go back to Auburn, I like to go by and see him. And like I said, I think he was more than a coach for me in my life. For my 4 years at Auburn, he was definitely a father figure to me. And I know he's still doing the same for those guys now.
All right, man. We appreciate you taking time to be with us and giving us some insight on Auburn's winningest coach of all time, Bruce Pearl, and what went into building this program, that Final Four run, and now maybe the best Auburn athletic team in the history of Auburn sports. We'll see how they stick the landing over the final 25 games or so. Anfernee McLemore, by the way, man, you look like you're in better shape now than you were. I was just looking at your picture on ESPN.com from your playing days. All due respect, you look scrawny back then. You got more muscle now.
I'm just sitting around, not doing much. I was doing a lot more running around back then, so I was able to put on a couple pounds since then.
Yeah, hey, the weight looks good on you. Maybe go for a tryout. See if that NBA will come calling this late here in the career. Never
I,
too old, my man. Never too
I,
old.
I think my window is closed, but I appreciate the compliment.
Anthony, thank you, man. We appreciate it. That's the basketball show, Auburn version, leading into the weekend with Auburn on the road at South Carolina, trying to stay unbeaten in the SEC.